And as you're well aware, when we started after the budget, the milling industry was moved back into exempt. That means we could not claim the VATs that were going to come on us. But now, according to what we understand, with the signing off on Friday, we have been moved back to zero. So we will be able to claim back the VAT from the fuel. So it will not affect the flour prices as it stands at the moment. There will not be increase in any flour prices at all, because we'll be able to claim back the VAT from our VAT returns. So there'll be no effect to us.
It obviously depends on the weather each year and the harvest. It ranges probably on average, we think about 250,000 tons time, and use 90 kilo bags as the annual crop. Some years it'll get as low as 200, some years it'll get up to close to 280. It stays fairly flat. The country's consumption is increasing as we speak. As countries, if you read around the world, as countries become more affluent, typically they switch to rice and to wheat, away from your traditional grains, like in this country with maize. So the requirement to import is increasing each year, while the country's harvest itself, production, stays fairly flat. This year, as you said, we expect the yield to be down. Crops were planted quite late because of the weather, and the quality of the crop is nothing like we expect it to be, and that affects our ability to extract flour at an economic level from that grain. So you know, for the last few years we've had an informal agreement with the government where we agree a price between the farmers. Basically the agreement's done between the government and the farmers, the kind of price they want. The government sits down with us and we say, fine, relative to import parity we will pay a price. And that's the scheme again we're on this year. Farmers are either selling directly to millers or they're selling through Cargill, like in Narok. Cargill has a buying center, and then we contract with Cargill to buy that. In return for that, the government gazettes how much wheat we're allowed to import based on our performance and based on our anticipated requirements, because that'll change year to year. Some people's market share is up, they've opened new capacity, etc., etc. And the government is very, very strict about measuring our performance against our commitments before they allow us to import any grain. And that causes hardship sometimes, but it keeps everybody on their toes. I would say today, roughly, Mohammed can help me, that local crop is covering between 15 and 20% of local needs.